It's Edge Radio Australia. Time for a particular show that I always like this gentleman to announce because, you know, your name's on the building, mate. I think it could be, well, it starts with a W. What is this show? You're going to have to read it for me.
Oh, well, Wealth by Design, Aaron.
It's
Very
a
nice to
flash name.
see you again.
It's great to be here, my
I was
friend.
very surprised the domain name was available, actually.
Oh, it's a very fancy name. I like it a lot. Yeah.
So it tells the story of what we're doing.
It does very much so. And let's face it, actually, this is, I will announce our wonderful guest, of course.
Yes.
This woman I've never seen before. She was literally walking back and forward in front of the building. We thought we'd bring her in. Leanne, lovely to see you.
Hi.
Leanne Jones, everyone. A wonderful part of Edge too, but more importantly for the show, I think that you're going to contribute some of your experience, which is going to be fantastic.
Just going to tell them how good Jeff is.
There you go.
Know?
That's a girl. Here's your 20.
That's right. Well, I was going to lean on the fact of wealth by design, okay? And really that is kind of the point here. Like everybody's financial interests are different.
Correct.
We're not cookie cutter here. So actually having the time, spend the time with someone who actually understands the game, understands pitfalls, knows what box to put the things in, design it for you, for your family and actually design it for your goals as well is a big thing. So that's something I see.
It's not just about money, it's about your lifestyle.
Yeah.
So lifestyle and money are all intertwined. If you're not happy with your lifestyle, you're not going to be focused on your money, are you, really?
Yep.
Correct. Well, that's the show. There it is.
Yeah.
All done.
It's over. Thanks very much for coming.
That's Wealth by Design, everyone.
Oh, dear. Yeah, but it's so true. It is so true. I see, like when we talk often about super and some of the big funds and that, I don't want to be sitting here trashing people or whatever, but, you know, some funds very much treat people, right, like they're all the same. Well, we're not all the same.
No.
And your special needs, you know, so to speak, your individual needs are very, very important.
They are. And I think there's so many different financial variables for everybody. And it's a time of your life, your kids, your debt levels, your different types of assets you've got. And depending on the time frame you've got to 60, which is what we really always focus on, we're sort of like 60 is your first legal self-funded retiree goal where you can access all your cash via super.
Yep.
Which is great because there's a lot of tax planning around capital gains and ongoing tax treatment, which is a zero after 60 in pension phase. But I think a lot of people do get confused with how do I get started?
That was us.
So tell us a bit about your experience with Wealth by Design, how you came about them, Leanne.
Well,
how it all happened.
Well, my co-host actually introduced me. She's not here, but on the one thing, Lisa Byfield.
Mm-hmm.
We all know who Lisa is.
Yes, great supporter, Lisa, of our organisation. We are of hers.
And she actually invited me to one of your talks, Jeff, and I have to say it went a little bit too long, but no, just on another note, it was such a wealth of knowledge. There were so many things that we had never ever been taught.
Mm-hmm.
This is something we don't get taught in school.
Mm-hmm.
We don't get taught by our accountant. They're a closed book, right? And it's something that, like, although we have financial assets in a share portfolio, it's not something that he ever mentioned about either, how we can actually create an income that we can actually retire on. Now, my suggestion is don't leave it till you're 56 like we did, start a bit earlier, because it makes it so much harder to be able to do what is possible. Yeah. And we never knew it. We never knew anything about it.
Mm. Yeah, no, it's a very good point, Leanne. And and I think it's going to get worse because the latest stats are that only 12% of Australians engage financial advisors. 12%.
It's such a small number. It is a crazy small number.
And most financial advisors are, good value. Like a lot of professions, not everyone's good, but generally speaking, financial advisors are very helpful. They're well trained and they're designed to give you great education and knowledge and line up all the action steps.
I hate to do this. I'm going to disagree with you a little bit on this one. I agree with everything you've just said, but honestly, like the advice that I would give is to talk to someone. This is the difference from knowing you and knowing other financial advisors. In my past, I know you're not a financial advisor anymore, but you're in the game for a quarter of a century. fair time. And I've been a client of a financial advisor in the past myself, and I didn't get very good advice. And I tend to think it's because, to be absolutely frank, I think it came a lot of it was very much that I wasn't referred to a person who actually suited me. There was the referral bit was missing. So yeah, there's excellent people, but if they don't suit you and suit your needs, then they're not the right person for you.
But I think it is also, if you don't know what you're looking for, right, you don't have that referral process in place.
Spot on, and that's my point.
That's what you offer, which was just brilliant.
Thank you, Leanne. Yeah. Well, it's definitely something that we've always done, like good on education, because financial literacy really is always been at an all-time low. And with the most basic things. I mean, I remember Leanne's husband, Sir Richard, saying that the first time ever he's actually understood how super works. Like no one's been able to explain it like I did. And it's just breaking it down as a tax structure.
It is.
It's not a product.
Because everyone keeps in their head 67, 67, 67. And Jeff's going, no, 60. And I'm like, but how does that work? You know, hello, how can we make that work? You know, and especially when you're like my husband's been self-employed most of his life, and I've been either a mum or only employed, you know, randomly. So we didn't have a lot of super. So how can we make that work? But we have other things, and it's just putting it all together in one package. Because you have such a brilliant understanding of everything, and then being able to pull in the resources from others.
Yeah, thank you. It's true, because there is little financial variables that you need to understand, and everyone, once it's explained, it's easy to understand. Like going back 5 years, if you need to make up your super contributions.
Sure.
Like hardly anyone
I didn't know.
knows.
No,
I didn't. Well, that's exactly. We didn't know that either.
You know, you had people with they might have a capital gains tax liability because they've sold a property, and they're expecting to pay, you know, 70 or 80 grand in capital gains tax. Oh, gee, they've got the cash there, but they're not looking forward to the day they've got to write a check out to the ATA for
no one enjoys that.
And so you can say sometimes, well, have you maximised your contributions to super for you know the last 3, 4, 5, 10 years? Most people go, what do you mean?
Exactly right.
Especially
that was us.
People.
Yeah. And we're talking about, not a small amount of money here. In the average sort of example, we're talking about $100,000, right? Okay, that is such a massive figure that can contribute to grows and grows and grows, obviously, but to the comfort of your retirement. It's we're not talking about, you know, 5 or 10 grand here. We're talking about bigger numbers.
Serious they're big numbers, you know, and of course. We, as you know, we're not financial advisors and we don't give financial planning advice, but we can educate people around what the rules are.
Sure.
And classic case in Leanne's case, you know, where the financial planner has to be involved, we introduce the planner.
Yeah.
Because that means that the right person's got the right responsibilities, they're formally trained and they're doing it legally. And if he gets it wrong, they can be sued and they've got PI cover.
Yep.
And so, no, these guys are, you know, the ones I would refer to anyone are switched on, good operators that know their stuff, and
they're a niche as well, because for us, we had to look at someone that was very specific, because you know there's other things in play with us as well. So having that specific. How do you say it? Specificity?
Specificity?
Yeah. And that expert advice from someone that's trained in that specific area and not someone that's trained in something totally different. I think that was really important for us.
You know, good point. And it is true. Like there's so many different areas. You can specialise in super as a financial planner. You can specialise in aged care. You can specialise, you know, in a whole range of different disciplines.
Sure.
And it just helps to know who the good ones are.
It does, and that was kind of my point before about the referral thing. Like, to me, the referral is as valuable as the advice that you're getting. It really is, because you're going in the right direction. I actually know a financial planner, you know, great person, you know, all that sort of carry on. But to be frank with you, like, he doesn't know much about super, and I think, hang on, you should. You know, we've had conversations, and I feel like, I'm certainly know that I know more than him, but I'm talking about subjects that I would think he would be bringing up with me.
Mm-hmm.
It makes no sense. Now, he obviously specialises in other areas, so it's not that he's bad, but if you need someone for super, you should be speaking to someone about super. That's where their area is.
Yeah.
Well, we had already set up our self-managed super fund,
Yep.
but we didn't have a platform to go to and how to do it and what to do with it and everything else. We just knew that we had to get our money and actually look at doing something with it ourselves. And then again, Jeff came to, winning, winning with Jeff. It's going to be winning by design and so yes, so that process then also and having Jeff there to actually guide us through that step of the way as well was beneficial because we want to be able to access some of our super at 60. That would be really nice to go around traveling around Australia, on our super money.
You live those dreams, right?
Yeah.
And just like the basic stuff, like old age pension, 67. Well, doesn't pay much.
No.
A couple unmeans tested, about 42 grand, and then if you've got anything more than 450 in super, the 42 gets cut. And so you go, oh Christ, 67. Well, it's not much money anyway. Let's really plan for the age 60 self-run. And if you need to pick up a bit of old age pension later, and if it's there, great, you grab it because you're entitled to it. And the financial planners and the people will help you do that as well. But in the meantime, not use that as the primary, use it as a backup.
Yeah.
And
so
agreed.
So, and accountants are really important. Often we will come across in a discussion with an accountant, and we'll go, look, how do you find your accountant? Oh, well, had him for 30 years, and he was my brother-in-law's offsider, and probably, not the best. You can really tease this out of people.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, look, we're doing this and this. Would it be worth just a nice clean cut and go, look, just don't make a decision to get rid of your current accountant, but just maybe go and have a chat to another accountant.
Well, just on this,
get a feel for it.
Oh, sorry to interrupt, my friend. Phil has actually come up with a great question. Can I contact Jeff directly by phone?
Very, very good question, Phil. Yes, you can. Yes,
Absolutely.
You can. You could even throw my phone number up in there if someone wanted to, but it's 0417 767 797. Lots of sevens.
There's a lot of sevens in there.
Oh,
Okay, that's fantastic.
Shelley.
Yes,
There we go. Shelley Tucker's also put a comment there. Thank you, Shelley. I really appreciate that. How cool. I've literally sent you a message for advice. Then this popped up on Facebook. Well, look at that.
How
There
go,
we go.
Shelley? Shelley
Coming
Tucker.
together.
Fantastic.
She's my friend.
There we go.
You're beautiful, Shell.
Isn't that great, Shelley?
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
What a wonderful example. Let's face it. Okay, of our little network here. It is a great thing. We talk amongst ourselves. We talk to our friends, and if you actually care about your friends, you're going to share this sort of thing, right?
Yeah.
It makes it. It's a much happier path. Everybody wins out of this.
Yeah.
And I think it's great. You can think about your friends are now going to have a secure.
For me,
future.
I've been doing this since Richard and I have both been talking with Jeff. We've done nothing but word of mouth referral. Okay. Why wouldn't you? If you find a really nice restaurant, you're going to tell everyone about it. Or we found a really good man that can actually work out with you what your financial goals are and give you the right tools in place to be able to achieve it. So why wouldn't you? Hey?
Why wouldn't you? Makes a lot of sense to me.
He's not paying me, okay?
Makes a lot of sense, Leanne. Yeah, look, it just breaks down the barriers of misinformation. There's a lot of jargon too.
Oh, so much.
So much jargon.
Jeez, give me a thesaurus. I tell you, right, there's so many, and there's exactly that. The jargon, also the, what's the word I'm searching for? Basically the,
sounds like.
Yeah, sounds like I'm having one of those days. What can I say?
I did that as well.
Looks like.
But abbreviations is the word I'm searching for. And then when you're not in the game, you don't actually know them, right?
Yeah.
So, and when you're speaking to an accountant that doesn't explain these things to you, or a financial advisor, you feel a bit lost. You feel a bit stupid. And that's one thing I love about your workshops. This is, I tell you right now, hand in the air, go to a workshop, really, honestly, because you talk about these things in everyday language, and it makes it, we don't feel dumb. We feel like we can ask questions. That's a big deal.
That's exactly it, Aaron. It's easy to understand.
Yeah, thank you. It's a very common bit of feedback, and we're quite proud of that. Acronyms.
That's the word.
Acronyms.
Oh,
The old
Abbreviation.
acronyms. Yeah, we say
yes.
like market cap. Like Lisa, who works closely with us, as you know, said one day, look, most people don't understand what you mean by market cap. And it's just typical of me dropping the ball there a bit, because you're not on your best game all the time. And that was a classic one, because Lisa picked that up. And so we've got a section now in our presentations of actually what the formula is to work out the market capitalisation of a company.
Really?
Yeah, it's this easy. Edge Radio.
Yep.
Someone's making a takeover bid.
Yep.
Right. And you put a value on your business of $1 million.
Sounds
right?
good. Okay.
So you've issued
More than that.
you've issued 2 million shares at 50 cents.
Right.
Right.
Okay. Yep. That makes sense to me.
And so 2 million times 50 cents is $1 million.
Yep.
Agreed?
I can work that maths out.
Yep.
I'm going well.
So the market, that's how you work out the market cap of a company. You multiply the number of shares on issue.
Sure.
2 million.
Okay.
What's the price? 50 cents.
Yep.
Aaron's business is worth 1 million.
There's your cap.
And there's your market cap.
And you don't necessarily need to be a publicly listed company for that,
No.
do you? No, not at all.
Private.
There we go.
You know, a lot of these, before you can sell something, you've got to have a value.
Yeah.
So we've just, we have recently, hopefully, done a fantastic little, put together a little marriage of a couple of plumbers, right?
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Yeah. So one plumber came to one of our Money
Events.
Matters evenings.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He brought his wife along, and he's coming on board as a client because he needs help in a bunch of areas. And but he's going, look, I've been in this game for a long time now. I've got 4,000 on my database, and you know, I've got a couple of thousand I work with really closely, but I'm getting tired. I'd like to sell my business. And my accountant said, well, it's worth nothing. Just walk away. And I
What?
said, well, if it's a bit difficult to sell it if it's just you, because you're the contact.
Yeah.
So it's not that easy to sell it, and hard to put a valuation on it. And so the next guy that comes is referred to me via one of the accountants that attends our Money Matters evenings.
Right.
He said, I've got a client for you, you know, and it's a young guy, about 43, and setting up his new plumbing business.
Okay.
He's been doing FIFO, and he'd been a plumber since he was 16. He's a very experienced guy. He said, I've got my website going, and I'm out there, and I've got 2 days a week, and I'm promoting it, and I'm sick of doing FIFO. And I said, there's 2 ways you can grow your business: through school of hard knocks,
Yep.
knocking on doors, doing your ads, blah, 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 pinching business off other plumbers, or acquisition. Have you ever thought of buying another business? He went, I wouldn't have no go about it. I said, look, I've got a bloke you should meet.
There you go. You are the king of connection, aren't
So,
you?
how
Just
good,
there, right?
so these blokes got together for a beer yesterday, right? And they both phoned me. I said, hey, mate, this bloke's all right. And the other bloke said, well, I got him to do 3 jobs. I'm working out if he's any good.
Yep, that's good. Got to know the quality, right? There we go.
And
That's
so
perfect.
something might come of it, which would be marvellous, because it's
It's a win-win for both.
it's win-win for both, and they can and one can buy the other out, and one can build a business and one can get
Start
out and
retiring.
get paid,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and they can both earn lots of money and come back and see me.
100%. Right? And you know what? I believe, I could be wrong, so I might be speaking out of school, but I believe I spoke to that younger plumber.
Yes,
What a switched on fella! Like,
Well-
really, really good guy.
yeah, it's great. This is how it works for everyone, right?
Right.
If this deal comes together,
Yep.
And the accounts get together and a proper valuation is done, all the agreements are put together, and all the exit clauses if they hate each other, right?
Sure.
But let's say they really can work together for their own mutual benefit.
Okay.
I'll get him in as a guest.
Good
The new
idea.
plumber.
Why not? Why not?
Great.
Or get
Yeah.
both of them in.
Why not?
Yeah.
That? Exactly
Yeah.
right. And as I say, it was great because to have a bit of a conversation with him and just realise how switched on he was about his business. And also the other thing, I love people who've got pride in their business.
Mm.
So many people don't. Okay, well, it's probably a bit harsh to say that. I think when you're in a small business, you're very got a great level of pride for your own business. But when you sort of get bigger, people cut corners and that. he had such a attitude of quality and intelligence about him. Yeah, I tell you what, the older fella, I don't know who he is, but I think he's done all right. I think he's made a good deal there.
Well, hopefully, yeah.
Yeah, well, we've
this is the thing. Why do they think that? Like, so my business is a Bowen therapist.
Yeah.
If I was to fold the business, why do they think that the accountant think, well, it's not worth anything? He can just,
because you've got to have a buyer.
Yeah,
obviously, you've got to have a keen buyer and a reason, and they would have to be a Bowen therapist to buy your business.
Sure.
So they would go, well, I might as well just, they've got a choice. They go, I've got my own customers, or I can buy a business that already has customers and got a great reputation, because Leanne Jones, has been building this business up for 3 years, and it's a cracker of business. She's got all these customers, and I just think an accountant in this particular case is completely and utterly out of touch.
I agree.
He wouldn't think about, they'll just think this far.
Do they think only if you have a shop front that you have a business? Would that be the case? Or?
No, I think it could be lazy on behalf of the accountant.
Right.
I think it could be a lack of knowledge.
Okay.
Or just not having the depth and breadth and scholastic capabilities to think outside the square. Right. And strategic thinking is really where it's at. So
agreed.
If you can strategically think about stuff, you're a problem solver, and you can try and find ways to come at it from a different angle. And a lot of accountants are streamlined in their thinking. Oh no, how could you sell it? It's all about you.
I used to work for accountants.
Maybe not. He works in the western suburbs from Scarborough, good clients, got all the top pubs. Yeah, bugger it. There's a client base there.
Yeah,
there's a way of
absolutely
extracting the value out of that.
Yeah.
No, I completely agree with that. Sorry.
So for Bowen therapists, you go, well, there's no reason why two Bowen therapists couldn't get together. One with an exit strategy and one with a plan to grow the business.
I love that, by the way, because that's something that we don't talk about enough, of actually bringing two businesses together and having that exit strategy.
I would love that.
Yeah, because think about that. Okay, we all need to retire eventually, or drop dead on the desk, either one. But preferably go and retire.
Let's just retire first, shall we? And then we can drop dead later.
Yeah, forget the drop dead. 90?
90? We'll go
90.
Push it down the list. Yeah. But my point is, your business can stay alive. You can stay in it, okay, and you can keep building it. You can still have that interest. But when you're ready to exit, you can. Whereas a lot of people have spent many, many years building businesses. They retire, they move, or may even sell a business, and they have a lot of regret, and they're not still involved. So it gives you a soft exit as well if you want to.
Right. Yeah. And look, what your business is a classic example.
Right.
You have been in this industry forever. Yep. You're a well-known identity in the radio industry. Not Aaron Malloy, every bastard. No, right. And so you've got this situation.
I don't know if that's a good thing. Anyway.
So with Leonard, I think it's a good thing. Yeah. And all these listeners are coming in with all these comments, think it's a good thing. And so, but why wouldn't you have a succession plan? Some young radio jock that wants to, he can borrow a bit of money from his old man. He wants to get him in there for practicing on doing some show at night.
Yep.
I don't know.
And I'm 100% with you on that. I mean, I actually feel a responsibility to mentor people, to bring young people along, and that would feel fantastic. Yeah. If I could bring a young guy or girl along, build them up in the industry, and then sort of slowly walk away, how wonderful would that be?
It's tremendous.
Creating a career,
because you are passing down. There is so much left on the table when it comes to transferring knowledge and experience to the next generation, and it is such a waste.
Yeah,
even my podiatrist, he's a genius. First bloke ever could stop my left hip hurting because he bloody worked out there was one leg a centimetre shorter than the other.
Oh, there you go.
That's all it was, and everyone's missed it for all these years. And he would make these special plaster casts. So the new podiatrists use like 3D CAD design.
You're right.
Computers to measure your foot and design an orthotic that goes in your boot or your shoe. Yeah. That's the modern way. This guy did it the old-fashioned way. He actually produced proper casts.
Yep.
Plaster casts of your foot. So you've got the proper mould going, and you go away, pour it in, and come up with the right. And I said, is anyone going to take over your business? Because you're recognised as one of the leading podiatrists in Perth.
Right.
All the sporting people in town come to you. You're a bloody hero.
Reputation is key. You work so hard to build it.
Yeah. And he said, look, I had someone here for a couple of years or a year and it didn't work out, so it was really disappointing. He said, I'll have a go, but I heard the other day that he's sold out and he's retired.
Yeah.
And there's no transition of all that fantastic knowledge.
Speaking of fantastic knowledge, Jeff.
Years.
You know, you're not getting any younger either.
There you go.
Right.
Let's come back.
So we need, and we're a few years younger than you. So we need someone else that you're going to be training as well so that we can have the support we need. Isn't that right? It works always.
It does work.
It's
Absolutely.
right across the board, Leanne.
Yeah.
And thank you for bringing that up, because I think our guest next week is the fantastic Sean Johnson.
Okay.
And Sean won the door prize, which was to be my guest on your show.
Correct.
And he's a marketing guy.
Yep. Yep.
And he said exactly the same to me.
See?
He said, mate, now listen, you told me you're 68. Now we're doing our numbers.
Yeah.
And you've already,
hello.
You can get the pension.
So we'll see Jeff out the front of Centrelink next week doing his bit.
and he said, you've told us we've got to keep going for 15 years.
Yep.
Just in case you think
Just
you're pulling
in
the
case.
pin in the next 15 years.
Oh, dear.
What's your succession plan and who are you bringing in?
Yeah,
Like a
that's really
very
great,
direct question. I am working on it.
Okay, great.
Yes, I'm working
Perfect.
on it. Yes.
He's a
I
good
think
guy,
everyone
actually.
should
I'm looking
actually
forward
look
to
at-
I didn't know it was next week. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's great.
If next Thursday is the 6th, it's next week.
Carried through. Yes, it is. I'm
Yeah.
looking at it.
So
So succession planning and passing on the knowledge is really quite
We've got a
critical.
couple of questions.
Got a question
actually.
here. There we go. So why do tokenized assets
Yeah.
and some of the blue chip cryptos have a place in your portfolio?
Oh, very good question.
It
Okay.
is a ripper.
I think we should deal with the
Thank
tokenized
you, Lisa.
asset first.
Yep.
Thank you, Lisa, for bringing that question up. A tokenized asset, let's pick gold.
Okay.
So you want to go onto a digital platform, it's a blockchain platform, and you want to buy gold. Put $1,000 in there to buy gold.
Yep.
Instead of going to the Perth Mint and buying $1,000 worth of gold that sits in the vault, or you bring it home and put it under your bed or in your safe. So tokenized gold means you put $1,000 on the platform. That $1,000 is taken off, in this case, to the ABC Bullion House, which is a better organisation than the Perth
I've
Mint
heard of them.
in many ways. They're based in Sydney.
Yep.
So your $1,000 actually buys real gold sitting in a vault in Sydney. And then the digital equivalent of that are tokens on the platform. And you can, a lot of people are doing this because they know it's safe and secure. It's backed one-to-one. It's not just a weird algorithm called gold.
Right.
It's actually
It
real.
literally is
Real.
linked to the gold.
And the reason people do it is because it's fully liquid and they can sell $50 worth of gold.
Yeah.
Because on a blockchain, it's fractionalized to 8 zeros after the decimal point. And so you might have $1,000 worth of gold, but you could sell $25 worth of it. No, minimum 50. $50 worth of that $1,000. You could sell it and put the cash in your pocket.
If you needed it.
And you'll pay 0.5%. 0.5%.
That's right.
Yeah.
The fact that it goes to 8 decimal points is such a big thing because when we talk about the big cryptos, when we talk about Bitcoin, for argument's sake, people look at the big dollars, think, I could never afford to get into that. Yeah, you can.
Yes,
you
you
can
can.
buy $50 worth of Bitcoin. You can do it.
Right, because that would be like, someone asked me the other day and worked it out. It was 0.000300326 or something is $50 US.
There you go.
With
Wow.
There you are.
Yeah.
There we go. I've got a couple of questions. Sorry.
Hang on. Phil had a question just a little bit further up.
Okay, that's fine.
He
Phil's
wants
question.
that one.
There we go. So
Just saw
let's have a
that.
look at Phil's question. There we go.
When is your next workshop, Jeff?
Okay, so the 17th of March.
There you go, Phil.
17th of March.
See you then.
There. And
How does he book in?
And also next Wednesday, there might be a couple of spots left. I'm doing a special corporate event, which is purely on the Wealth 99 platform.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so that's next Wednesday. And how you get in is simply by going to the Wealth by Design website and booking in a little calendar entry, or just say contact us. There's all sorts of spots in there.
We booked a little calendar entry when we first came to you. Yeah.
And
it's such a good system, right?
Yeah, it's a good
Works
system.
well.
Lots of spots on the website. Just click, book in, and we'll pick it up. We'll have a quick phone call, give you all the information you need, and then send you an invitation, because it is invitation only.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah.
I want to bring up a couple of questions here. Now, we've got one here from Lisa, and I might mention, I know that Lisa's got a lot of questions, but Lisa also is a wonderful job. She's actually relaying this from other sites because we can't see them all. So she gets access and brings them through. So I appreciate that. So someone has actually asked, what is crucial for you to have, what is crucial for you to have as goals and objectives? That's interesting.
Yeah, it's a great question, Lisa. Right at the top of our data collection form, we say, please put in here what your major issues and concerns are, what you would like to achieve in the next 12 months, or 2 to 3 years, or 3 to 5 years and beyond.
Okay.
And it might be like, well, I want to get my credit card paid off, or I want to finish the granny flat, or I
want to go around Australia.
Whatever.
I need more hats.
Yeah.
Come on, whatever happens to me.
And so they're generally lifestyle, not necessarily financial, but some are financial.
Yep.
And that gives us an opportunity to start to get our head around what's driving people's major issues and concerns, because then you can build financial models around that.
Agreed.
To help them
achieve.
And
this is where it becomes individual, right?
Yes.
So
tailor-made,
correct? Yeah.
By design, no less. Boom, boom. There we go. That's so true. Another question that Lisa's put forward, and I appreciate very much what she's doing there. Why is it never too late to take some action, no matter what your age?
Yeah, that's a great question. If someone's in their 50s and they're going, well, we haven't got much time, it's 10 years to 65, 5 years to 60, what we're going to do is really look at the structure of their assets. So they might have a property that's generating a net yield of, say, 3%.
Sure.
We work with property people, town planners, property advocates and buyers agents, and you can dig and find the right deals.
Of course.
And there might be a deal there where they can not have a property in their own name, paying a 3% yield, and if it's $1 million, that's I think $30,000 a year. It might be that they can get a $700,000 property, but have it owned by their super fund. That's getting a 10% yield net, because they're there.
They are there.
Boarding houses and that, to a couple of grand a week, they're there. And you either build them, find a builder to build them. We've got the builders, or you buy them finished. And there you might get $70,000 a year, but now it's tax free. Yeah. So would you prefer $30,000 a year?
Yes.
Taxable.
$70,000
a year, non-taxable.
Yes.
Or you're going to retirement. Crikey dick. It might be that you've got to wait till you're 62 to get that up and going.
Sure. Yeah.
Big deal.
Big deal.
Now you've got a locked-in asset giving you $70,000 a year, indexed to inflation, because the rental kept going up. Right? And then a lot of people will go, well, what's happening in crypto? And you can do the same with some of the blue chip cryptos. Most cryptos are rubbish because people are either punters or they're speculators. But there are smart crypto investors that just want to look at quality assets and hold them.
Yeah.
That are, interesting enough, going up like averaging 60% a year.
Yeah. I mean, just think about that percentage.
Massive.
Right? Yeah. No, honestly, when you think about what you get in the bank, and even with some investments, it blows my mind to look at those numbers. But if you need to supercharge your investments, and I'm in a position where I have to, I'm not getting any younger. There's no doubt about that. And that 60 and that 67 figure is getting closer and closer.
Not as close as me.
You would never know, though. We would never pick it.
Spring chicken.
Oh, yeah.
But you've got to do it. And there's, great assets, things like we're talking about the security there. We've got gold, we've got crypto, as far as if you want to accelerate things. There are all these things that if you don't, look, I say it a million times, knowledge is power, right? And if you don't know, you don't know. The fact is there's so much information here, or so many ways of packaging things, that that can make hundreds of thousands of dollars of difference in your retirement with the exact same income.
Yeah, and you can make up a lot of ground in 5 years.
You can.
Just think about it. Like there's a little portfolio of blockchains on this platform that we promote, and there's 6 blockchain. Now, a blockchain is a platform that does business, and there's 5 good ones and one roughie. Okay, a little Aussie battler, right? And it's done nothing for 5 years, but it'll probably do a lot in the next 12 months.
Okay.
But of the real businesses that are doing business, you average the performance there. That portfolio for these investors has achieved 244% over 4 years.
Yeah,
like it's just unbelievable.
I've looked at it, and it is mind blowing. It really is. And this is. I mean, obviously, you can never predict the future, but okay. The past is generally a pretty good indication of what's going on. And as long as you use common sense
and you read up, we give people links, they can do their research, they can look at well, a blockchain is a brand new technology that the humans have developed, and it's part of the new technology wave. And a lot of people get held up on terms like crypto. Well, look at these businesses; they're actually software companies.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And invest in Microsoft because you understand what it does. Well, you might invest in this crypto / business because it just done a deal with the ANZ Bank, and they've developed all the technology to help transfer money. And you go, well, okay. See, it's about getting your knowledge around the real use case for these
spot
things.
On. You stole the words out of my mouth. You're right. I mean, a lot of people think crypto is, magic internet money. And some of it
is. Have a look at your bank account. It's just numbers.
That's 100%.
In a bank account, isn't it?
Yeah.
They blocked our bank account, one of our bank accounts. So they can block anyone.
It's terrifying to think about that. It really is. I am scared by the amount of my friends who have actually had their bank accounts actually blocked or had some sort of restrictions. In fact, it's happened to me as well. This is a great.
Imagine if you had all your eggs in that one basket, and they went right. We're stopping. We're stopping you accessing your accounts.
Yeah, that's actually quite an extraordinary behaviour.
It was ridiculous, and no warrant for it, mind you.
It's your money, but the bank will say no. You don't know what you're doing. We're of the view that the main banks are doing that because they're desperately getting to a point where they're setting up their own crypto exchanges, and they can stop people taking their money off platform.
Right.
And I think that's what's going on. But there are some crypto-friendly banks which we use.
Yep.
And which is great. And so there's
some not.
There's some not.
Which we already know about as well.
Very much your point, though. Okay, when you and Richard walked in, to the seminar or the information night.
Yeah.
Okay, you don't know which are the friendly banks. You don't know which are the ones that are going to help you. This is it.
And we'd already had everything set up, ready to go, but through education, right?
Yes.
We found out that was not the way that we could go. So
absolutely
not the way to go.
Just want to bring up, I saw a question there from Phil. If I can just bring that up for a moment, that would be wonderful. Hang on,
what is the? I think it was about the platform you were talking about.
There we go. Okay, so.
There we go.
I mean, of course, you'd never give financial advice, mate, but you can sort of name one that you've had your eye on that might be.
What is the coin you mentioned that might do more? Yeah.
Yes. Well, I think we're very careful not to be stock pickers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good idea.
It's just because as soon as you nominate something, you're a stock picker and you're giving advice.
Yes, it's not advice.
The reason this company have put together little portfolios is that they realise you can't be a stock picker.
Sure.
You've got to blend similar asset classes. Like if you get an ETF, an exchange traded fund from a financial planner, you might go, look, I want the gold sector, I want the international equity sector, I want this sector or that sector, because they spread it over a sector. And the good crypto platforms are no different, but especially the ones that we promote, because you really only have about 20 assets on that platform.
Yeah.
They're very well selected, but they're easy to sort of tick when you want to transfer some funds in, because they're a blend. There's a blue ocean bundle, there's a blue chip bundle, there's a precious metals bundle, and our clients are wealth accumulators and they're diversifying their assets for retirement. They're not interested in being stock pickers and trying to pick a winner.
Mm.
Yeah. So that's the best way I can answer that question, Phil. Sorry. Because
that's
if you go onto our platform and give us a call, we can talk about all the individual.
Well, again, this is
do your own research.
Yeah, well, do your own research, absolutely. And the other thing is, this is not throwing darts at the board here. Again, it's personalised service, speaking about what serves you. So, I think we've hit the end of the show.
Oh my God!
Look at that!
Time
Oh my
goodness.
Having fun, absolutely. Absolute pleasure. Lovely to have.
Hey, Leanne, thanks for coming on board.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Great for you walking past.
I know. Don't forget to stay on for for one thing.
You can say you can promote it. There you go. Well, thanks for being part of Wealth by Design here on Edge Radio Australia. Look, if you want to see the replay, hear the replay, we actually replay this show many times during the week. And, of course, if you see it on YouTube or anything like that, hey, like, share, do all those YouTube-y things. And if you know people that probably need a little advice or a little bit of guidance, more to the point, actually it's more a more apt way of explaining it, get them to watch the video or maybe subscribe. But thank you very much for being part of Wealth by Design here on Edge Radio Australia.